Hey there, everyone. This is the 2025 overview look for Pisces rising. In this video, I'm going to be taking you through where the major planetary energies are going to be influencing your sign in 2025. Before I get there, I'd love to just share with you that on November 23 of 2024, I am going to be presenting a one-day in-person workshop all about 2025 right here in Brisbane. So if you are in Brisbane, you can get to Brisbane. I'd love to invite you. So we're going to be spending the day in beautiful Bulimba looking through all of the transits of 2025. And then hopefully afterwards, we'll continue to discuss the sky of next year over some dinner and drinks. So that's a great opportunity to make some astro friends and new connections as well. So I will put a link in the description of this video below where you can click on my website, find out more information about it, and I really hope that you can join us. I'm really looking forward to doing it. So let us take a look at your house setup for 2025. So the big moves of this year is going to see I guess you could call the solidification of Pluto in Aquarius and in your 12th house. That's been going in and out of there since 2023. So that's not new energy. It's just going to become permanent. Saturn and Neptune are going to move out of your first house of Pisces and into your second house of Aries. So Saturn is going to be introducing you to a 2.5, 3 year cycle in 2025. And Neptune is going to kick off a 14-year cycle next year, but only, again, an introduction to that. Like everything else that's kind of happening in 2025, you're also going to get some changes on the home front as Uranus dips his toes into your fourth house for a few months in 2025, leaves your fourth house and comes back to Gemini in 2026. And that is going to be a 7-year cycle of changes at home. And then, of course, you've got the wonderful Jupiter in Cancer cycle in the second half of 2025 and into 2026. So now that we've had a little bit of a look at where everything is going, let's give it a little bit of meaning. So, what you're going to find in 2025 is that some of the pressure from the last couple of years is going to start to lift. You're going to get a little bit of a break from that. That's because Saturn has been in Pisces since March of 2023, and it's going to take a brief hiatus in 2025 between May 25 and September 1. So, any constriction that you've been feeling in the last couple of years, that sense of weight, pressure, additional responsibility, or just that feeling that life has been harder than what it normally is, if you just take that look back on the last couple of years and go, yeah, that was a thing, you're going to start to feel that that's going to lift and shift in 2025. So it is going to feel relieving, a bit of breathing space, a little bit of room. Hopefully, you're also going to recognize how far you've come. Sometimes when you're in the grind, you don't realize how much progress you are actually making. So between September 1 of next year and May of 2026, you're going to have Saturn return to Pisces and your first house. So the pressure is going to be back on. And I'd imagine for you that's going to be tough as you wrap up that cycle. Now, one of my favorite sort of phrases when I find myself under a little bit of challenge or hardship is, like, damn it, I haven't come this far just to come this far. And so Saturn's just going to demand from you just that last push to get to that finish line. So that's going to bring up maybe more stages of personal growth. You may have to continue to, make more adjustments as you continue implementing boundaries, figuring out what your priorities are, what's working for you, what's not. That may also be a bit of a culling period. So as you've grown and, stepped up to the plate a little bit more, you may also come to realize that though there are other people in your life who haven't, so you may have to increase the distance between whom or what hasn't sort of raised the bar alongside you, so to speak. So you may have to distance yourself from certain people. You may even have to cut some people out. Now, another cycle that's ending in your first house for a little while is Neptune. So Neptune's been in Pisces since 2011, forever now. So you may even feel or forget what life was like without the fog of Neptune. So you'll experience what that will feel like temporarily in 2025 between March and October. So, as life feels clear, you'll be able to make better choices as well. So, your mission as these two planets, Saturn and Neptune, come in and out of your first house in 2025 is to turn a dream into a reality, that one last ditch effort to really make something that you might have felt was impossible for you. And Saturn's kind of saying to you, come on, Pisces, pick up your boots, pick up your socks, onwards and upwards. So it is going to be a little bit of a challenging time. You're going to feel fatigued. You're going to feel tired. You may be ready to throw in the towel. As I said, you haven't come this far just to come this far. Now, money. So as Saturn and Neptune leave your first house, they're going to go into your second, which is everything to do with cash, finance, money, abundance, your skills, gifts, and talents. So you're going to learn more about those things in 2025 and how to attract abundance. So you might find that between May and September, when Saturn moves into Aries, that you'll take on some new, or at least consider taking on some new financial responsibilities. You may start to feel that initial weight or pressure of a financial situation because Saturn in the second, not fun for most of us. And it is going to bring some financial reality checks around what you earn. Is it enough? Is it enough to fulfill whatever your dreams and desires, or even just your obligations? What you earn, what you own. So this might take shape in terms of whether it's property, investments, just the stuff that you've got, and also what you owe. Like getting really clear about the numbers on the spreadsheet is going to be really helpful. So when you get clear about what your numbers are, then it's going to be easier for you to close the gap between the actual situation you're in and then where you want to be. And that's the Neptune piece. We all have dreams and lofty ideas of what we want out of life in terms of what it costs and what we're going to have to spend in order to make it happen. So when you know where you are and then where you want to be, it's just about that Aries on the second house. Take action, make it happen. So set some goals for yourself in 2025. This might also have to incorporate reshaping some of your beliefs about money. So if you hold beliefs about what it might mean to be wealthy, what it might mean to not be wealthy. If you're holding on to stuff like that, you're going to have to reshape that. You're going to have to let those old things dissolve and bring in new awarenesses around that. So a little bit of self-development is going to be important. You might have to really analyze your habits. What are your habits around what you spend? Most people spend a whole lot more than what they realize. Again, take action. So look at your cash flow. Are you even earning enough? You might need to set a budget or streamline a few things so your money is going in the right places. So again, Saturn is going to be priorities. An example might be, do I need to buy a book after every podcast I listen to? Or maybe I can just, download the listening book or borrow from the library. Just an example. So you might need to spend less. And that doesn't necessarily mean just spending less for spending less's sake. It might mean because you've got bigger goals, bigger priorities, and these little kind of frivolous expenditures of money, while they are small, they do add up. Okay, so obviously there's going to be this constriction energy of Saturn, which will demand a short-term pain for long-term gain ethos. So for the next couple of years. Now, in a stark contrast to all of that, which is what's going to make 2025 a year where you have to really dive into some maybe money psychology, and money beliefs and things like that, is that you're going to be introduced to Neptune's 14-year cycle from March 30 to October 22. So this is the dreams. This is the grandiose ideas. This is the what if type of planet. So Saturn, yes, is going to ask you to take responsibility, take things seriously, but it's not just for punishment's sake. It's so you can achieve a dream, something more worthwhile, something that you really, really yearn for. And that's what Neptune can also talk about. Now, I can't talk about Neptune in your money zone without something to do with a word of caution. Money can be slippery, elusive, or feel intangible, like you can't nail it. And so that might also lead to some of Neptune's deceptive qualities. So don't fool yourself about where you're at and where you want to be. And also be cautious if you are making money moves, if you are gaining financial advice from somewhere, someone, or you're in business with somebody else, or you're bringing, you're doing deals, what have you. So I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. If it's too good to be true, maybe it is. Okay, so there is this caution with Neptune and its deceptive qualities. And if in doubt, just take your cues from Saturn. Saturn's a slow planet. Okay, there's no need to rush this. Now, on the home front, there's going to be a lot of changes coming through in 2025, which will set the tone for the next 7 years of Uranus in Gemini. So that cycle isn't going to start off, isn't going to really take a hold or until 2026, but you're going to get a taste of what's to come between July and November of 2025. Uranus in Gemini is going to bring some chaos into your domestic life. So this could be family relationships, living situation, the literal roof over your head, where you're living, who you're living with, the dynamics of the relationships that you share with other people. The chaos can also be sort of more on an internal level, where you may discover that you're starting to break free from some familial patterns. So that could be from your childhood, for example. So let's just say, for example, you came from a strict religious family and you decide, nah, not for me anymore. And you become a little bit of that rebel or that black sheep quality over this period of time. Of course, the opposite can be true. I've seen it go the other way, where you might be raised by hippies and then you decide to go into a situation that's a little bit more conservative. So, those are just examples. I'm not saying that that's going to be the case, although it also could be. Just think about whatever the current status quo of your family life, your domestic life, your living situation. If it's chaos and change now, potentially it's going to stabilize. If it's so boring and so stagnant, well, change is going to come in. Either way, you're going to be invited to think differently about whatever your family life is all about. This could be the family of origin, the family you come from, mum, dad, it could be culture, it could be the situation you come from. Or maybe it's the family you've created. So if you've got children, you've got a partner, husband, wife, what have you. Uranus is also going to ask you to step away from any family drama, any chaos as well, so you can do what's right for you and yours. Ultimately, Uranus is a planet of liberation and freedom and separation. So you might find at some level, whether you're separating from the ideas of your family or it's a literal separation of your family, that could show up for you. You might get a little bit of a inkling of that in 2025, and it may not take hold till 2026 or beyond. On a more practical level, it could just be simply that you decide to renovate your home. You might move house, you might buy or sell. You might even decide to travel, take your family to another country, either for a season, temporarily, or for the indefinite future. I'd like to sign up for that. There's a variety of options with Uranus in Gemini, and that's what you've got to think about or embody with this transit. There's just not one way to do domestic life, family life, and all that jazz. Now, you've got Jupiter there already. Jupiter is your ascendant ruler, and it's been in Gemini since May, and it will be there till June 10. So chances are you're already starting uh, to start to experiment with and play with new ideas around faith, spirituality, travel, culture, beliefs in the family home. Maybe you're just starting to explore new ideas around what family means to you. Anyway, in 2025, that whole concept is going to sort of be dialed up to 11. So strap yourself in when it comes to your home life. Now, relationships are going to be big in 2025 as well. And you're going to get new insights into your closest relationships in the new year. And the reason being is that on January 12, the south node of the moon is going to move into your seventh house of relationships. You're also going to have a couple of eclipses in these areas of your life, and these are going to help you do south nodal things, clear baggage from the past. This could be your baggage, it could be your partner's baggage, or the baggage you carry together as a couple, the accumulated stuff over time. Now, March is going to be a peak period for this, where maybe some longer running disagreements or those issues that just keep cycling back in a relationship, you may need to finally just deal with them, bring them up and out and figure it out. But the bitter pill to swallow in this is how are you a co-contributor to the current situation in your relationship? And if you're single, well, that also speaks to that as well. So you can get to really not rearrange, but really reflect on, figure out what your ideas are around relationships, what concepts, how do you analyze them? Are you looking for something that's so ideal? Are you critical? Those are going to be really key elements with this eclipse cycle. So the nodes are going to be there for 18 months. And so you're going to need to reflect on and possibly change entrenched relationship stuff. And that might also include the way you communicate, what your desires are, especially in the March eclipse. Now, in September, there's going to be a combination of endings, beginnings, and closures. Now, that can be a good thing. What I hope for a lot of Pisces is that you just might have to realize that no relationship is perfect, but your person is your person and they're perfect for you. There's something about them being a soulmate, a gift from God, but letting go of the outcomes of what you expect from the long term. So it's kind of being in the moment, accepting responsibility, not being too critical, and loving your person, warts and all. So a lot of spiritual growth can happen in your relationship in 2025 and into 2026 if you just accept the person for exactly where they are and then decide that you are committed to it. Because remember, Saturn's in your first still. Okay, so when it comes to joy, happiness, and the good things in life, there's a beautiful transit coming through starting June 10, and that one is Jupiter in Cancer. So when it comes to what you do for fun, what you do for love, romance, children, joy, happiness, anything that makes you smile. Um, I'm getting this image of Seinfeld. There was this one episode when the concierge of a hotel kept on ringing him every 2 minutes. Do you want this, Jerry? Would you like that, Jerry? And he's like, more of anything, more of everything. And that's exactly what you've got to say yes to in the second half of 2025, especially. If there's a chance to have fun, if there's a chance to have pleasure, more time with children, more time doing something creative that you really enjoy, fun for fun's sake, just, don't let the party stop kind of thing. So you'll have the chance to take on more of what makes you smile. Children, even a little bit of travel with the Jupiter influence, your romantic interests, music, fun, joy, pleasure. I could go on, but I think you get the picture. Now, this will be a really welcome relief, a real welcome shift, because the first part of the year doesn't look that fun at all for you. And this will be because of the retrogradation of Mars, which will start the year in Leo, and then the first few days of the year, it'll move into Cancer, and you're going to have to deal with that Mars retrograde until February 2024. Your efforts for fun, for joy, for pleasure, all of those types of fifth house qualities, whatever effort you put in, whatever you try and take action around, whatever you try to initiate and push for, is likely going to become thwarted. There's going to be a spanner in the works kind of thing. So things might go wrong. You'll probably find more problems than solutions, but that can most likely bring a once bitten, twice shy element to it, particularly if there's a dating situation, relationships. Maybe you're trying for a child and not having much luck. Maybe you're trying to get a creative project off the ground and all you're hearing is no. When you know that that's going to be the case and it's not going to last forever, from February 24 through till about April 17, 18, then you can really push for progress, make up for lost time, take no prisoners in that department, and really make joy a priority. That might mean you have to carve out the time. That might mean you have to do the things, even if you don't feel like it, even if you feel like you want to give up. Don't, because you're going to get the benefits and the blessings for all the hardship, for all the work, for all the toil, for all the no's, for all the tears come June, and that's a year-long cycle. So don't let the shorter term influence the longer term. Okay, so be hopeful. Jupiter in Cancer is going to be wonderful for that. So don't lose the hope. Now, Pluto. So Pluto is going to make your 12th house a mainstay, taking up residence in that part of your life for the next 20 years. So that's a longer bow to draw, and a lot can happen in 20 years. But the point is you've been experimenting in that part of life already since Pluto first went in there in March 2023. And then prior to that, of course, we had the Saturn in Aquarius phase. So this sort of energy, the 12th house vibe, is not new for you. You may discover, though, in 2025, you're going to have to make the mental side of having the air element on the 12th house more of a priority. If you need time alone, if you need rest, if you need to restrict yourself from outer world stimuli every now and then, do that. The Pluto has this pulling down weightiness to it, and the 12th house can have a little bit of a soulful feeling that you're so close to it, but you can't touch it type of vibe. Pluto also brings an energy of purification and purging and clearing away. Not done easily, though. So, with Aquarius on the 12th house cusp, this may involve some of your fixed or rigid ideas about how you think life should be. This could be about the past, the lived, the perceived, the imagined, the self-talk that you have about that. Self-talk's a very big thing, and you need to some extent, experiment with the Pandora's box of that. Open up the lid, take a look, see what's in there. So you can give it some oxygen, heal it. And when you can do that, it will create a ricochet effect through all areas of your life and change everything. So, because it's very within, it's very inner, the 12th house. So obviously, whomever is watching these videos are at different ages and stages of life. And you might be thinking, oh, Pluto and Aquarius is going to be my 12th house forever. And at this point, 20 years' time does seem like forever. But for some of us, 2004 was not long ago at all. In some respects, it feels just like yesterday to me. So when you put it in that perspective, it is a long time, yet it's not a long time. And there's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen between 2025 and 2045. So don't feel that everything is all is lost because Pluto's going into your 12th. There's going to be periods of intensity, of difficulty, of having to really sit in the sludge of your mental anguish or your the rigidity or the mind or that mental disturbance that the 12th house can bring, particularly when you've got an air sign of it. I'm not going to lie, there's going to be some tough periods with this, but they're just going to come in peaks and troughs. So try not to stress about it too much. How this can be helpful is see what Pluto is doing over the next 20 years and when will it aspect important planets in your birth chart, and that will help you get the peaks and the troughs of that. So there we have it, Pisces. That's a little bit of an overview. I think the fact that Saturn is coming out of your first house, at least for a while, and then of course Neptune as well, is going to be the game changer for you. Pluto, it'll be there for ages, so don't worry about that one too much. So if you like this video, please feel free to leave me a comment. What are you looking forward to? What are you not? And of course, do feel free to like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that a lot as well. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.